Hi students, in today's video we're going to do the part 1 of our term 1 HBL1 expansions of the products of algebraic expressions. Right, let's do a recap of the distributive law. Right, to start off, let's do some examples. Right, let's look at part A. So if you were to look at part A, it comprises of two terms. The first term is the number 2 and second term comprises of two variables A and B. Alright, so what we are saying is that we're going to distribute 2 to the first variable A. So that will be 2 bracket A. Right, and then we're going to distribute 2 to the letter B also. Right, so 2 bracket A means 2 times A, so that gives you 2A. And 2 bracket B means 2 times B, so that gives you 2B. So part A, it's relatively easy. Right, so let's do part B. Alright, so part B comprises of 3 terms here. Right, but not to worry. Right, not to worry because the steps involved are the same as what we've done in part A. Right, so what we're going to do is we see that this is a negative number. So if it's a negative number, we have to be very careful while managing the negative number. So let's bracket it. So that will be bracket negative 3. Right, and we distribute it to the letter B. Okay, followed by bracket negative 3 again. Distribute it to the letter C, followed by bracket negative 3. Distribute it to the letter D. Right, so you have to be careful if it's a negative number. Okay, if it's a negative number, then we have to introduce the brackets. Alright, so let's continue. Right, so negative 3 multiplied by B, that gives you negative 3B. So that is quite alright. Plus, so this negative 3 times C will give you negative 3C, followed by a plus. And then this guy here, negative 3 times D will give you negative 3D. Alright, so the next step is that we will have to open up this one here. There's a bracket here, so we need to open it. So positive times the negative will give you a negative. So we have a negative 3C. So likewise for this guy here, positive times negative will give you a negative. So you will get negative 3D here. Alright, so this is how you apply the distributive law. Okay, let's do another example. Alright, let's apply the same steps that what we have done just now. Okay, this is negative 5x. So if there's a negative, when we're dealing with a negative number, what do we need to do? Yes, we need to bracket it. So that will give us bracket negative 5x, close the bracket, distribute it to 3x, plus, again, bracket negative 5x. Alright, distribute it to negative 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that change it to a black color. Alright, I'm going to group all the numbers together. So, and then the variable together. Put those numbers together and the variable together. So negative 5, I'll put it close to 3, and then x closed with x. Similarly for this one here also. Negative 5. Okay, put it together with negative 2. And then of course, your variable x right behind. Okay, so negative 5 times 3 will give you negative 15. And this x multiplied by x will give you x squared. So you will end up negative 15 x squared. Okay, so what we have here is negative 5 times negative 2, that will give you a 10. And 10 times x will give you 10x. And of course, this is a positive here. Right, so they will end up getting negative 15 x squared plus 10x. Right, that will be the answer. Right, let's do more practice. Let's look at this question. So this will give me 2 distributed to 5x squared. Then go back to 2 again, distribute it to positive 6x. So if it's positive 6x, there's no need to write a plus 6x there. No, 6x means it's plus 6x. Okay. Right, so let's simplify further. So this one means just multiply 2 times 5 times x squared, 2 times 6 times x. So 2 times 5 will give you 10. So 10 times x squared. And 2 times 6 will be 12. So 12 times x. Right, so if you simplify further, so that will give you just 10x squared plus 12x. Okay, so that is simple. So let's do the next one. Alright, the next question is still manageable. Okay, how do we do it? We apply the same steps as what we have done earlier. 3x squared, okay, distribute it to x plus 3x squared. Here you have to be careful because what we have here in the second term is negative 4. Okay, negative 4. So you would have to distribute it to negative 4. Alright, so that's simplified it. So this one means 3 times x squared times another x. Okay, I'm going to put negative 4 beside 3 and then times x squared. Alright, so x squared times x. X squared times x will give you x cubed. X cubed. So this will be 3 times x cubed. And these two guys here, 3 times negative 4 will give you negative 12. So can you see that I still maintain the bracket there because we're dealing with negative number. If you have a negative number, then put the bracket, introduce the bracket. 10 times x squared. Alright, so this will give me 3x cubed. Okay, and then this one here, plus with the positive will give me negative. And of course, not forgetting, I still have to put my x squared there. Because 12 times x squared just give you 12x squared. Okay, so that's part E. Let's go on to the last one. This will be the last one really. Okay, so for the last one, right, so that will be negative. So negative 3a, so we need to bracket it. Okay, we need to bracket it. So bracket negative 3a. Alright, multiply it with the first term. Which is 2b. Then plus bracket negative 3a. Multiply it with, okay, be careful, look carefully, negative c. So negative c. Alright, so let's continue. So I'm going to put the numbers together. So negative 3 put together with the number 2. And then the a and the b put together. Okay, similarly also for the negative 3, leave it alone. But the a and the negative c, I'm going to put it together, side by side. Actually, they're already side by side. It's just that I introduced a bracket to A to split it up. Okay, to split it up because I want to multiply these two together first. All right, so let's continue. So negative 3 times 2 will just give you negative 6. And then times A times B, so that will just be negative 6AB. All right, my negative 3 is still there. This guy here will give me negative AC. All right, so negative 3 with a negative AC, that will give me positive 3AC. And of course, yeah, and positive will give me positive. So that will be the answer. Okay, so we have come to the end of the first part of your HBL. We'll do some questions. You will have to attempt some questions on your own, and steps will be given to you if you don't get the answer. So don't give up, keep trying.